What's going on YouTube? It's Eric here with MajorLeagueTrading.com, and I got a good video for you guys today on how to swing trade options. So in the MLT Discord and here on YouTube and Instagram and things like that, seems to be one of the #1 things that people want to learn about is how to trade options. So I'm going to break down a trade that I had here in Google for you guys today on the YouTube channel. And if you notice here in the top right hand corner of the screen, you'll see I had a nice little $736 trade today in the Nasdaq. And I just did an Instagram TV video on that trade. So if you guys want to check that out, there's a link in the description below where you guys can check out the Major League Trading Instagram, just at Major League Trading. And then this video will be up here in just a little bit. So if you want to check that one out, go ahead and do so. But for this video, I want to focus on options and more specifically in Google. So I'm going to show you, took a screenshot here. I closed the trade out today. And I'll bring over the actual options chain here in a second. But so what you'll notice, the position that I had on here was a vertical. So that's going to be a spread. So I stepped in and I sold one of the 1055 puts here and then bought one of the 1050 puts there. So the strike that I sold was above the strike that I bought. So in return, this ends up being a bullish position to the long side, right? I'm looking for the market to, at least in Google here, looking for it to rally. This contract still has 10 days left to go for expiration. I stepped out into the monthly expiration, which those are going to expire June 21st, which will be in 10 days from now. Today is June 11th. Now, you'll notice here, I went ahead and sold this for $2 right there. You'll see, I don't know what that is supposed to be, a check mark. So $2 right there was my trade price on this spread. Now, since this is a spread and it's $5 wide, that means that the maximum risk I have is that this goes to essentially $5. So when I sold this for $2, I had $3 worth of risk that was on the table because it's going to go from basically $2 to maybe $5. And at $5, my risk is capped and I just let the position work, or I end up, closing the position on the day of expiration, right? So it's defined risk in this contract. Now, as you'll notice, when I took the screenshot and closed the position out this morning, Google is trading at basically $1,100 here. And if we look now, Google is now down about $20 off the highs from today, trading 1080s. So pretty decent little exit there in Google. The P&L on the day here, just from yesterday into today, good for $35, and P&L open there, good for $130. So this trade actually ended up making $135 on the actual trade. And if I pull over the options chain here, you'll see, so my P&L on the day actually went up to $40. And if I still had the position open, well, it wouldn't be that way now because Google sold off $20, but it would have been set 135 here. So I snapped the screenshot just prior to closing this position out, and it ended up being good for $135. So hopefully there's no confusion about that, since the P&L on the day here and on here are just a little bit off. So I went ahead and bought this back in today for 65 cents. So I sold it for $2. Let's run through the math here on this real quick. So I sold this for $2 and I bought it back in today for 65 cents. So the difference there between $2 and 65 cents is 135. And since these options contracts are multiplied by 100, right, that was good for $135 on this trade. Now, why did I take this trade? What kind of led me to take this trade? What was the reasoning, everything like that? So I'll walk through that now. If we look at the chart here on Google, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. There's a 180-day hourly chart. I'm going to zoom out as far as I can on this chart. And you'll notice Google obviously had a really, really nice run. We went from $1,000 almost to 1,300 there. And then this looks like some type of earnings announcement here. We gapped down almost 110 points here in Google there. Went from basically 1,300 down to 1190s. And unable to get back above this kind of $1,200 number at any point in time, recently here in Google and have just been selling off. And as we started selling off here, we had, one nice little rally in here that kind of rallied back. The uptrend of that move ended up failing. We went lower again. And what ends up happening is I noticed this was this was on the 3rd. So on June 3rd here, which I'll pull up the calendar over here on the side, was a Monday. So I was in this trade for a grand total of 8 days. On this Monday, when Google started gapping down here, I went ahead and threw in some support levels of where I expected Google could fall to using the level-to-level strategy that I like to do. Again, it works on stocks, options, futures, Forex, whatever. So I said, okay, Google's gapping down nicely into this area. Let me take a look at the volatility in Google. So I have this on my daily chart over here. I have what's called the IV rank right here. And I just like to see kind of, what options prices are looking like and things like that using this, whether it makes more sense to potentially buy options or sell options. And in this case, I went ahead and elected to sell that spread in Google because the volatility had kind of bumped up there with this gap down. Apparently my phone knows I'm talking about Google because it turned on. Kind of like Siri, but with a Google. Anyways, so market gaps down here, and you can see the open here at 1066.93. The high of that day ended up being 1067, so we only rallied 7 cents from the open here in Goog, and then dropped immediately, basically 35 points in the first hour of the day for Google there. So what I did is I went ahead and put out a working order to sell that Google 1055 1050 put spread. So what I do is I'll actually go ahead and throw in right here. Let's kind of edit this up. So 1055, and we'll make this red just for argument's sake. And we'll do another one here. And if you guys didn't know you could do that, you just hit the space bar over top of highlight a drawing, and you just hit the space bar and it'll duplicate it for you. So I went ahead and sold the 1055 1050 put spread. I just put a working order out there, and again, what I was looking for is, okay, if we pull down into these levels, then I want to go ahead and be long Goog. I want to sell some premium against it. And where do I think we can kind of rally back through at some point in Google and kind of work into this gap? Well, I figured, okay, we can get back above 1067 at some point in time here. So I went ahead and stepped out. Again, when I put that position on, I had 18 days to go until expiration. So I was making the assumption or the anticipation that Google would be above 1,055, or at some point in the next 18 days be able to get above 1,055 here in the Goog markets there, and be able to take a profit on this position. Now, fast forward 8 days later here, and it ends up working out nicely, and we kind of ran up and tagged this $1,100 number, and that was the cue for me to go ahead and jump out of this position today. The reason being is a couple of things, right? I sold this for $2, so the max I can make is $2. If it's trading for 65 cents, I can only make another $65 on that position, but I could potentially lose $435. Again, it's a $5 wide spread. So it could go all the way up to $5 if Google just happened to sell off down here to 1050, right? So I'm not willing to take that risk of $435 just to try and make another 65 bucks over the next 10 days. What I'd rather do is take this off the table, redeploy that capital, which the capital it took to make this trade, the buying power effect, which you can actually see on the screenshot. I don't know where that actually went to. Let me see if I can pull it back up. Here we go. So the buying power effect you can actually see on this screenshot was $500, and I goofed that up. Oops. Let's try this again. Right there. So I used $500 worth of buying power or margin that I could not trade with to go ahead and make $135 in these Google options. So that's a little over 25% return on my money in just 8 days here in Google. So the question is, like, Could I make the extra $65 and keep the $500 in capital tied up? Sure, but why not just take that money off the table, look to find another position that I can use $500 worth of capital for, and then make another $135 or attempt to make another $135 over the next 8 days, as opposed to just another $65 over the 10 days that this one has left to go, right? So a couple of things there with, risk reward and when to time and get in and out of trades. But I have not looked or managed this position since pretty much the day I got in. I went ahead and looked at Google, see where it's kind of trading at, but I went ahead and put the trade on. I was comfortable with the risk and I let it work itself out. So basically over the last 8 days, making $135 on this trade. And again, you can scale this, if you have a larger account, if you have a 6-figure account, a 7-figure account, you can scale the risk tolerances to meet, whatever it is that you're comfortable with. And even if you have a smaller account, say a $2,000 to $10,000 account, this is a really good strategy to work on that account and slowly grow it over time, right? If you have a $10,000 account, you make $135. That's 1% on a little over 1.3% growth on your account in just 8 days. Now, it's not stellar 100% returns in one single day like you've seen some options trades, but the goal here is to learn how to trade these options and the different strategies that you can use to implement those into growing your account. I'll say it again, I've said it 1,000 times. Trading is a marathon, it is not a sprint. So just keep that in mind when you're looking to grow your account and you're looking to day trade or you're looking to swing trade, right? It's all what fits your specific criteria. And that's what I'm looking to bring to you guys is the ideas and the strategies that I use to trade. And if you guys are able to take that information and use it for yourself as a benefit, then I have done my job. So with all of that being said, that's what I got for you guys on this video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up on this video. If you are new around here, click that subscribe button and turn on the little bell notification. I go live each and every morning at 9 a.m. for free for the first 25 minutes of the day there from 9 to 9:25 to share my thoughts and analysis with you guys. And if you are subscribed and the little bell notification turned on, you'll know exactly when I do that. Also, please give me some feedback in the comment section below of this video. Let me know your thoughts, opinions. I will even take constructive criticism as long as you are polite and politically correct in the comment section below. Happy to read those and help you guys out. So also check out the Instagram TV video that I just did for the Nadex, the NASDAQ $736 day trade here that I just posted up on Instagram. So take care, hope it helps, and I'll see you guys on the next video.